This is RTV6 News at 6, working for you.
A citywide effort to unite black men across Indy brought dozens of people together today. Thanks for joining us here at 6 o'clock. I'm Nicole Griffin. Organizers hope the rally will empower, educate, and encourage black men and boys. Troy Washington is working for you to explain why organizers hope the initiative impacts not only our community, but communities across the country.
Because when we empower the black man, we empower the black family. When we empower the black family, we empower our communities.
And strong men identifying unity, identifying resources that can help them, and empowering them to be the best man that they can be.
Strong Men, Strong Minds Indy made sure black men were joined by other black men to discuss economic empowerment, fatherhood, mental health, enterprise, and any other issue that could be on their mind.
We wanted to be proactive as opposed to reactive. So in being proactive, you want to get out ahead of what's going on and not have the event occur because of something that happened yesterday, last week, or last month.
These organizers say nothing in particular sparked the effort, but they believe meetings like this are important.
The significance of today's event was a rally for unity.
The theme of the rally was Strong Men, Strong Minds, and it focused on building up the black man. The plan is to help them identify resources that can help black men as they navigate through their everyday life. Organizers believe this type of positive energy could really take off.
Events like this happen in Indianapolis. It could also happen in Evansville, Kokomo, Fort Wayne, Gary. We just want to elevate the black men around our state and our country.
Working for you at the State House, Troy Washington, RTV6.
Troy, thank you. And today, people across the country gathered for Save the Children rallies, including right here in Indianapolis. Their goal is to raise awareness for child sex trafficking. This morning, about 70 people marched down Meridian Street, eventually stopping right in front of the RTV6 studios. People brought signs saying Save the Children and Protect the Children. Those who attended were encouraged to bring business cards as well and interact with other activists. Now to your Storm Team 6 forecast. Kyle, we're seeing in that video tank tops, the sunshine, a nice Saturday.
Yeah, feeling pretty good out there. The humidity still not bad. Temperatures getting a little warmer, though. We made it to 83 degrees this afternoon. There's that 84-degree average, so just missed that. So now we are 8 for 8 here in the month of August of below average temperature days. I think we will be snapping that streak, though, as we go into our Sunday. We'll talk more about that building heat, but you can see that the warmth is building as we get around Bedford and Sullivan. We've got temperatures in the middle to even upper 80s out there, while it's 83 in Greencastle and Indy, 81 for you right now in the Richmond area. Your evening planning forecast does show that we'll continue with mostly clear skies out there. Temperatures that will be into the upper and middle 70s here by 9 o'clock, and we will be a little bit slower to cool tonight as we continue that warming trend here even through the overnight hours. Temperatures into the upper 60s. That doesn't happen until about 2 o'clock in the morning with mostly clear to partly cloudy skies. Storm Team 6 radar, all nice and quiet here across central Indiana. There is a pocket of some showers. Doesn't look all that impressive around St. Louis right now, but I'll let you know how that could impact our Sunday in a few minutes. Nicole.
All right, Kyle, thank you. Continuing our coverage of the coronavirus and its impact on Indiana, the state health department reports more than 1,000 new positive cases for the third day in a row. 13 more Hoosiers have died, bringing the total to 2,834 deaths. More than 73,000 Hoosiers have tested positive for the virus. More than 828,000 people have been tested in Indiana, with 8.8% testing positive. A third new Palestine high school student has tested positive for the coronavirus. The student who tested positive was last at school on August 3rd. Families of students who were in direct contact with that student have been notified by the school nurse. New Palestine High School is being sanitized and disinfected this weekend. Classes will resume next week. On August 1st, the school district announced a student who plays on the football team tested positive for COVID-19. A second New Palestine student tested positive on August 3rd, and the district determined that case and the latest one announced on Friday were not connected. Greenfield Central officials notified parents Friday night that a high school student tested positive for COVID-19. Superintendent Harold Olin said the student attended school last week and the district enacted its protocol for dealing with a positive coronavirus test. The school district contacted families whose children were in close contact on Friday evening. Families who did not receive a phone call were not identified as a close contact. A Greenfield Central junior high school student tested positive for COVID-19 after the district's first day of school on July 30th. Ball State athletics are now on hold. This comes after the Mid-American Conference became the first league competing at college football's highest level to cancel its fall season. Along with football, the MAC canceled the fall seasons for men's and women's cross country, field hockey, men's soccer, women's soccer, and women's volleyball. The conference's university president decided to explore making up the fall sports season in the spring. As the pandemic continues, our initiative, The Rebound Indiana, is working to make sure you know where to turn for support, especially when it comes to issues like mental health and addiction. More than $1 million in federal grants from the Substance Use and Mental Health Services Administration will help add more peer recovery specialists to organizations across Indiana. Those specialists have personal experience with mental health or substance use disorders. The grant money will help add 40 positions. The specialists will work alongside others with their recovery.
Having a peer support there, it's somebody that can answer difficult questions. You know, is this a right pathway for my loved one? Well, if my loved one doesn't do this, is this appropriate? And having somebody that's been there before, that's trained and certified to help them along the way is just, it's an unbelievable asset that we just haven't had much access to in the past.
Governor Holcomb says now more than ever during the pandemic, expanding peer recovery options is essential to support those with mental health issues and substance use disorders by helping improve access to resources that they need. If you'd like to learn more or connect to resources, go to theindychannel.com/rebound. Nationwide hospitalizations and deaths from COVID-19 are on the rise in more than half the U.S. So why are thousands of people prepared to gather in one place this weekend? Find out next.
This is RTV6 News at 6, working for you.
With hospitalizations and deaths on the rise in more than half of the country, some states are pausing reopening plans, but the city of Sturgis, South Dakota is preparing for what will likely be the largest gathering in the country since the pandemic began. Here's ABC's Alex Prochet with the details.
The United States quickly approaching a grim milestone of 5 million cases of coronavirus. The nation marking 2,000 more deaths in a 24-hour period for the first time since May. California now passing 10,000 deaths. And in Georgia, a heartbreaking loss. A 7-year-old African-American boy with no underlying conditions dying from the virus. A CDC report finding staggering racial disparities among children. The data showing black children with COVID-19 were hospitalized 5 times as often as white children, and Hispanic children 8 times as often as whites. With more than half the country seeing an increase in hospitalizations and deaths, more states are imposing new restrictions. Hawaii closing Oahu beaches, Oregon limiting interstate travel, and Massachusetts cutting gathering sizes in half.
People are simply not being responsible about face coverings, social distancing, or any of the major metrics.
However, hundreds of thousands of bikers are converging on Sturgis, South Dakota for the city's annual motorcycle rally. Officials there promising when the rally ends next weekend, there will be mass testing available for residents. Across the country, as school districts look to reopen safely, they are grappling with tough decisions.
Well, I think about what if they're in an environment that they're exposed, and then, what are the procedures?
The University of Washington releasing a dire projection, a possible death toll reaching nearly 300,000 by December, unless more people wear masks. Dr. Anthony Fauci is urging Americans to unify behind these basic health practices and is cautiously optimistic about a vaccine.
We could go into the fall and the winter coming out of it looking good.
Vaccine expert Dr. Paul Offit is on the FDA's advisory panel. He says testing procedures must be followed before any vaccine can be deemed safe.
If it's been tested in 20,000 people, shown to be safe, let's say it's 70-75% effective at preventing this disease, preventing moderate to severe disease, keeping you out of the hospital, keeping you from dying, then I think the benefits clearly outweigh the risks.
A new Gallup poll released on Friday shows 65% of Americans would get a vaccine if it were FDA approved and free. But more than a third of those polled would not be willing to get vaccinated. Alex Perche, ABC News, Washington.
Alex, thank you. President Trump sidestepped Congress today, signing 4 executive orders providing some relief for millions of Americans struggling during the pandemic. Talks between the Trump administration and Democratic leadership on a new COVID-19 relief bill collapsed on Friday. Democrats say they offered to meet Republicans halfway on a $2 trillion stimulus package. There was some positive news from the Labor Department. Friday's jobs report beat expectations. Nearly 1.8 million jobs added last month, the unemployment rate dropping to 10.2%. But the data shows millions of Americans who lost their job at the beginning of the pandemic are still unemployed. The $600 supplemental federal unemployment benefit expired on July 31st. The Paycheck Protection Program, or PPP, which has helped small businesses meet their payroll, expires today.
It's really small businesses that need the support and that really contribute so much to the places where they're located. When we lose small businesses, we really lose a lot more than just that one business.
Some economists predict that if these businesses do not receive another round of support, more Americans will lose their jobs in the coming months. Online shopping for the holidays could get expensive thanks to the coronavirus pandemic, and that's if it's delivered by UPS. The company says it will add surcharges for delivery on big items, but it won't affect customers buying small goods. The surcharge will cost between $1 and $4. The cost can also vary depending on whether delivery is via ground or air. UPS ships more than 25,000 packages per week. An important part of going back to school is making sure children have all the school supplies they need to be successful, and that's where your generosity comes in. The Salvation Army of Indiana and Walmart are teaming up this weekend for the Stuff the Bus event. When you shop today or tomorrow at one of 16 Walmarts in central Indiana, you are asked to pick up something extra for a child in need.
We would love for the public to be, as they have been in the past, generous, to purchase additional school supplies. Sometimes you're going to purchase for your own children, and you can afford one more backpack or one more box of pencils or markers to purchase and then drop it right here in our collection bins at the participating Walmarts around central Indiana.
All of the donations will remain in the local community and will help Salvation Army provide back-to-school support to local children in need and supplies to restock classrooms as the school year progresses. Kyle.
And it's felt like some school weather out there here lately across central Indiana, as we've had some cool mornings especially. That's all about to change, though. Summer is making a return here to central Indiana. Still enjoying a lot of sunshine out there today. Temperatures at 83 degrees, and that's what it feels like because the humidity still not a factor for us. 47%. That is going to change quickly, though, as we go into the day on Sunday. As we look at the muggy meter, look at that. It just goes straight up here on Sunday, and then it's going to kind of stay there in the very humid to tropical feel for the next several days, and the weather is going to get a little more active too with some showers and thunderstorms. But I think we'll stay quiet tonight out there. Temperatures that will drop back into the 60s. So we're going to replace the 50s that we've had, and temperatures that will start off at 63 for you in Danville, 62 Sunday morning in the Rushville area. TrueCast by 6 o'clock in the morning does show a chance for some showers, a couple of isolated storms trying to sneak into the southwestern portion of the state here. I do think there will be a decaying complex of thunderstorms off to our west. Notice by mid-morning, just a stray shower chance here from around Bloomington and areas to the south. I think near and north of I-70 should be dry, but as we get into the afternoon, about a 20% chance of some of that wet weather sneaking into the southern half of the state. As we get into Sunday evening, things should be quiet. So again, most of us will stay dry throughout Sunday, and the focus will be more on the temperature and the rising increasing humidity. Look at these numbers now. We'll get to 82 degrees, so already back in the 80s here at noon, and eventually middle to upper 80s for that afternoon high, with partly sunny skies out there and just that small chance for a shower or storm. Your high 88 in Columbus, 87 Indianapolis and Muncie. But we got to factor in that humidity, and something we haven't talked about for a while is that heat index, what it's going to feel like tomorrow afternoon. That heat index will get into the lower 90s for a time there before it kind of levels off here as we get into the afternoon and evening hours. Rain chances are low tomorrow, but they do ramp up here as we get into Monday and Tuesday. About a 60% chance of that wet weather, and the 7-day planning forecast does show that you're going to need the umbrella here as we get into next week. Just keep it in the car, keep it handy. We're not talking about washouts here, but we are going to have that daily chance for a little bit of wet weather. Scattered thunderstorms looks fairly numerous as we get into the afternoon hours Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. That keeps our highs from taking off, lower to middle 80s for us, and about a 30 to 40% chance of storms, Nicole, that looks like it's going to hold on into next weekend.
All right, Kyle, thank you so much. Well, on the field, he's called the Maniac, but Colts linebacker Darius Leonard wants to be known as an MVP. Coming up in sports, see what's keeping him motivated as his third season in the NFL begins. As the Colts gather for training camp, there's a lot of talk about the arrival of new quarterback Phillip Rivers, but it could be one returning player on Indy defense that makes just as big as an impact this season. Brad Brown has a closer look in tonight's Sports Extra Spotlight.
In his first 2 seasons in the NFL, Darius Leonard has been as impressive as any linebacker of the last 20 or so years. Going into this season, he's been given some extra motivation to keep that pace going.
Being a competitor, you play this game to be the best, and if you're not the top one at your position, then, that means you're not doing the right thing. And, I think that I got to continue to go out each and every week to prove that I could be the best linebacker.
Leonard got a new pair of cleats as a daily reminder. All of the slights and criticisms he faces online are there, including his recent rating of 85 in the Madden 21 video game.
Some people can get complacent with the things that they've done. And me, I look for, I'm always on Twitter. I look for every bad comment. I look for everybody just to talk trash to me, because if someone out there talking trash about me, that means that I'm not doing enough.
Like 99% of the players that I've been around that are motivated by that stuff, if they feel like the dig goes past, hey, bad game, bad player, and really gets personal, then that's another level. But most of the guys, I just think they know it fuels the fire.
But Darius is having some fun even as things continue to be so very different in this altered preseason.
I couldn't wait to show it for it. I'm a man with a lot of energy. I hate to sit still for this past few months. I've been sitting at home.
Once the team opened the doors to get back to work, Leonard was there. In fact, he was a bit early.
Whether he knows it or not, I think he's pretty self-motivated and wants to be the best and is obviously extremely talented. So, it's just kind of that icing on top that when people doubt him, he wants to prove them wrong.
I'm at the top level of playing football, and sometimes you can get complacent. And as long as you got someone continue to say negative things, continue to badly rank you day in and day out, no matter what, and I need that.
People around the league are taking notice. Despite Leonard's 85 rating on the Madden game, he's already in some conversations about being the league's defensive MVP this season. And his media profile continues to rise as well. A few weeks ago, he was part of a special NFL edition of Celebrity Family Feud. We'll see if he can bring that energy to the field in the weeks ahead. Brad Brown, RTV6 Sports.
I lost all trust in restrooms.
A stunning morning surprise for a California family. When they went to use the bathroom, they found a 6-foot-long snake in their toilet. They immediately called for help, and it was the rattlesnake rustler to the rescue. Glenn Stowe has 15 years experience doing this type of removal, but even he says he was startled by the beastly boa constrictor.
He's strong. He gets big, and he's grabbed onto something, but he's trying to pull me in with him. He was stronger than my tongs, and I was about ready to grab him with my hand. Like, I knew I had to get him out of there, but luckily he kind of froze up a little bit, and I was able to suck him out of there.
When I use the restroom in the morning, I usually don't even turn on the lights. Now the lights will be on. I will take a glance, I will flush twice, and then sit down.
Oh man, well, boa constrictors like the one found in the toilet are not native to California. The family believes a neighbor may have lost their pet. The 6-foot snake was safely delivered to animal control. Can you imagine, Kyle?
Nope. If you were to ask me what animal do I fear the most, it's snakes.
I'm with you.
All right, and then you put it in a toilet and it's all over. All right, 7-day planning forecast, and we've got a rising chance for rain and thunderstorms here, especially as we get into Monday and beyond.
All right, Kyle, thank you. And thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you right back here tonight at 11. Have a great night.